We spend our lives trying to hold the ocean in our hands, planning, fixing, controlling, as if the world might collapse the moment we let go. But have you noticed the tighter you grip, the faster everything slips through your fingers? Maybe peace isn't found in getting life right. Maybe it begins the moment you stop trying to run the universe and remember that you were never separate from it. Because control doesn't create safety, it creates exhaustion. And what you call anxiety is often just your soul begging you to stop pretending to be God. Let's find out what control really means and how you can change your mind today so you can let go more easily. And stay until the end for a beautiful invitation. It might surprise you how easy it can be to let go. Now, before we begin, I want to share something deeply personal with you, something very recent but truly life-changing. This is something my coach told me not long ago when I was in a really desperate place. It was one of those moments where everything around you feels impossible to fix, every door closed, every path wrong. And I said to her, I can do A or I can do B, but both of them are bad. There's no good choice. Nothing makes sense anymore. She paused for a moment, then smiled and said, might I suggest a third option? I say, yeah, sure, okay, what is it? And she said, if you work on yourself on the inside, if you stop trying to fix the outer world will begin to reflect that. And when she said it, it went straight through me because it was so simple. And yet I'd completely forgotten it. I'd been so busy trying to solve everything, to hold everything together, that I didn't even notice how tense I'd become. So I decided to stop. I let go of control, of all the desperate thinking, of the endless problem solving that never led anywhere. And I turned inward instead, toward peace, toward trust, toward stillness. And within a week, everything started to shift rapidly. Not because I forced it, but because life finally had room to move again. And what shifted was never even a possibility within any of the options I had considered. It was actually considered to be something impossible. And believe me, I was obsessed with solving this. And this option didn't even exist in my mind. So letting go truly is a very powerful thing to do. Stop micromanaging life and start trusting its flow. Hi, I'm Michelle. I help spiritually sensitive people find emotional peace and self-understanding through the language of Bach Flower Remedies. On this channel, I talk about the deeper layers of emotion, how to find calm in chaos, and how the wisdom of plants can help us return to our natural rhythm. Today, we're exploring something that every sensitive soul wrestles with, the illusion of control, and how letting go might be the most powerful thing you can ever do. If you know that you do not understand, you're finally beginning to understand, because the divine, the eternal self, can never become an object of its own knowledge. A knife cannot cut itself, fire cannot burn itself, light cannot shine upon itself, and you cannot grasp yourself. When you think you have, you've only captured a reflection. That is the great mystery. The thing you're searching for is what is already looking through your eyes. So of course you can't find it. You can't pin it down. You can't photograph what's holding the camera. And in the moment you admit, I don't know, something deeper listens. That listening is understanding. When you stop grasping, forcing your mind to define the infinite, you suddenly fall into peace. A peace that isn't earned, it's remembered. Because when you stop holding on so tightly, you realize something miraculous. You begin to feel stronger. Most of our energy is spent trying to manage life, to plan, to worry, to make sure things go our way. And it's exhausting. We act as though we're running the entire universe, but the instant you release your grip, stop defending, stop trying to force every outcome, that energy returns to you. It doesn't vanish. It was never gone. And that's the paradox. You gain real power by letting go of control, not by giving up, but by trusting the way of things. the quiet intelligence moving through life itself. The Tao flows left and right. It supports all things without needing to dominate them. When it accomplishes something, it takes no credit. It just moves on. And that is true strength, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself. And the more you trust, the more power you actually have. Not over life, but with it. When you let go, you don't lose control. You align with a current that has been carrying you all along. Letting go isn't weakness, it's intelligence. The more we try to control, the more separate the world feels. Something outside of us, something we must conquer. But the moment you begin to trust life like you trust a beloved friend, everything softens. You can say, all right, life, show me what you're going to do. And you're not speaking to something out there. You're speaking to your own depth, because you don't really know where your decisions come from. They bubble up like springs from underground. Spontaneous, mysterious, alive. That's what trust really is. Not naivety, but a return to the way life already works. You trust your heartbeat. You trust your breath to come and go. You trust the sun to rise, even when the sky is dark. Trust, you see, isn't blind. It's ancient. When we try to decide everything perfectly, we get lost in anxiety. But the truth is, you can't calculate infinity. There will always be variables beyond your knowing. So why pretend otherwise? Life doesn't need you to control it. It needs you to participate. That's how nature works. Cells in your body don't report back to the headquarters. They act. And in acting, they cooperate in something vaster than themselves. And that's why evolution works. Trust at every level. Democracy, ecosystems, even the body itself, they function through trust, through delegation, through interdependence. That's the pattern of life. That's why you shouldn't have communism. That's how intelligence spreads, not by domination, but by participation. To let go of control, to trust others isn't weakness. It is entering the same rhythm that drives existence forward. It's cooperation with the invisible architecture of life. When you align with it, life begins to cooperate with you. You find help where you never expected it. It's a leap of faith. The universe answers. That's what happens when you trust. Things don't always go your way, but they do go the right way. We must learn this now, not as a philosophy, but as survival, because if we can't learn to enjoy life with sincerity and depth, we will destroy ourselves through boredom, anxiety, and endless outrage. Each side blaming the other, each person trying to be right. And yet the real cause isn't left or right, good or bad, it's fear. The fear of letting go, the fear of trusting what we don't control. But you don't need to fight to be good. You need to relax enough to remember what you are. If we don't learn how to rest in presence, we'll keep tearing each other apart in the name of saving the world. So when you ask, what do I truly want? And all you can answer is, I don't know, stay there. That's where real wisdom begins. Because every answer the mind gives will fade. I want comfort, I want love, I want security, and yet something in you will whisper, no, that's not quite it. And eventually only silence remains. Why don't you know what you want? Because you are the source of wanting. You cannot see your own eyes without a mirror. You cannot grasp what you are, and in that mystery something else wakes up. You realize, what I want is what life wants. And I don't know what that is. Surprise me. Everything else is falling apart, and that's not a tragedy, it's liberation. Because there was never anything to hold, and nature is already letting go for you. When you stop pretending permanence exists, you stop struggling, you stop defending, and the energy that was trapped in resistance begins to flow again. That power isn't personal, it's universal. It was never yours to begin with, but now it can move through you. When you finally let go, you discover strength without force, clarity without control, and love without demand. And here, as promised, I'll tell you how you can learn to let go today softly and gently. Bach Flower Remedies can help you return more easily to that state. Please look at my recommended videos if you don't know yet what they are and how they work. They're basically vibrational blueprints of flowers that help you raise your own vibration. Now, here are some Bach flowers I recommend. Vine, when you hold on too tightly, when you fear chaos. Vine teaches gentle leadership, the wisdom of guidance without domination. Rock water, for those who try to be perfect, disciplined, always in control. It softens rigidity into flow, reminding you that life was never meant to freeze. Cerato, when you doubt your own intuition. It reconnects you to your inner compass so you no longer seek outside approval. Gentian, for when life feels like a series of setbacks, when every little delay makes you lose heart. Gentian restores quiet faith in the process. It helps you keep walking when the road bends, trusting that progress is still being made even when you can't see it. It reminds you that doubt is not defeat. It's simply the mind forgetting what the soul already knows. Growth often hides in learning. Oak, for the strong ones who keep going even when every part of them whispers rest. Oak teaches sacred endurance, not the kind that breaks you, but the quiet wisdom of knowing when to surrender. It shows you that true strength is not endless pushing, it's allowing life to hold you when your own willpower has done enough. When you learn to bend, you stop breaking. White chestnut, for when your mind won't stop turning, when you replay the same thoughts again and again, trying to solve the unresolvable, trying to make sense of what only time and trust can reveal. It's for those sleepless hours when the mind loops around, what if and if only. White chestnut quiets the noise, not by forcing silence, but by bringing you back into the present moment, where peace has been waiting all along. It helps you release the mental grip on every possible scenario and remember that life doesn't need to be solved, only lived. So if this message touched you, please give the video a like. It helps it reach more souls who need this kind of softness in their life. If you'd like to go deeper, you can start with my free class where I show you how Bach Flower Remedies help restore emotional balance. Or join my full course, Bloom into Balance, where you learn to create your own personalized remedy plan and bottle. And for something more personal, you can receive a soulful letter written by me just for you, or book a private consultation where we explore your healing path together. You can also join our online community, the Remedy Circle, where we grow, learn, and heal side by side, and all the links are below. Remember, the moment you stop trying to control life, life begins to carry you. And in that effortless movement, you'll discover what was waiting for you all along: peace, presence, and the quiet joy of being home. I loved making this one. Thanks for being here with me, and see you in the next one.